Our classic pickup project is part R&D and good old-fashioned bits and bolts trials. The interesting part is merging new steel components with human test subjects. The Tech Center is a lab for the Chevy build and a testing facility for some very enthusiastic but unproven hands. These techs won't check their egos at the door. Yet.
The guys at TCI have been working frantically to get the chassis for the 53 pickup together. Today we find out if there's a hole for every bolt.
We carried the chassis in today, and I gave myself a hernia.
Timing is that.
Oh, you missed the heavy lifting.
Set it up on the auto twirler and proceeded to start assembling the front end components.
This project isn't being built by guys who do this for a living. This is recreational, a distraction from the everyday. So how long will it take before recreation becomes frustration?
Well, my name's Keith Pittman. I'm a returns department supervisor for Classic Industries. We put the front end together on it. We put the rear axle in it, started on the front brakes.
Had gotten all the parts from SSBC, stainless steel brakes. Got those on the front end, along with, of course, the front suspension components, the upper control arms, lower control arms.
TCI has sent a couple of extra hands to assist with the assembly. It's not free labor. They're taking notes to see how well their redesigned 53 chassis accepts its components.
We had a little problem. We went to put the front lower A-arms on. The shocks weren't going to fit in the space, so we just simply took it over to the grinder and ground off a little bit of the shock sleeve, and it popped right in. Just a little simple thing that comes up when you do builds, and real easy to fix.
TCI's engineer works out the problem quickly. This is the kind of fix that'll happen before another chassis rolls out of their facility. From their factory to our floor, everyone wants this to succeed.
We decided to go with the Mosier Posi and with a 411 gear ratio.
Chassis builders need to know your plans before they make your product. Suspension styles, engine and transmission details all need to be worked out before you call up for a set of frame rails.
In the back, we used a 4-link rear with a track bar, which is a bar that runs diagonally to keep the rear end in alignment with the car.
We know, Chevy purists are smiling. We're not using the F word followed by the term 9-inch. That strategy, though, is tough to avoid.
The rear differential, when we put it in, we had the rear trailing bars on it in the wrong places. We had the top on the bottom on the top, and it threw our pinion angle off slightly. We just flopped the bars over, took the bottoms off the top, and put the bottoms on.
Trial and error is all part of the game. Better to find out these things now than when there's a truck bed sitting on top of everything and getting in our way. This 4-link isn't intended to give our pickup extra hauling capacity. This is pure hot rod going in. A lower stance, posi traction differential, torsion bar suspension with coilover shocks. This stuff is screaming to handle some serious horsepower. And the axles dare you to try and snap them at the drag strip.
We also got the axles with the large bearing style, which will eliminate the use of the C-clips that you'd find in a normal GM rear end. The axles for the Mosier 12-bolt are a 33 spline, and they're forged from their own tooling and then induction heat treated so to optimize the torsional strain.
With obstacles dropping faster than a light tree at a drag strip, you know there had to be another one lurking in the distance. Getting stopped at the brakes is more than poetic justice.
They don't go past the thread.
So what should we do?
So the studs are too big and they can go onto this pattern. So we could drill out every one of these holes.
We ran into issues putting on the rear brakes because the Mosier rear end had heavy-duty studs installed in it, and they're a little bigger than the holes in the rotors. What we're going to do is we're going to pop the studs out and replace them with 7/16 versus 1/2 inch. That way they match the front, and we'll work with the wheels without any modification to the wheels.
Well, until we get a drill bit that's big enough to make that hole large enough for the studs, we really haven't got much to do, except maybe practice for the Olympics.